Most people have heard of witch hazel. A bottle of it sits on pharmacy shelves in virtually every drugstore in America, usually priced somewhere between $3 and $4 for a large bottle. And most people who buy it use it for exactly one thing: dabbing it on their face as a toner or using it on a cut, and never think about it again. That is an enormous missed opportunity. Because that $3 bottle is quietly one of the most medically documented, dermatologist referenced, and historically validated household products available without a prescription. It replaces a facial toner that costs $18 to $30, a post-shave treatment that costs $12, an acne spot treatment that costs $20 to $40, a sunburn soother, a bruise treatment, a scalp solution, and a surface cleaner that costs $8 a bottle. The high-end skincare industry has been repackaging witch hazel under premium labels and charging 10 times the price for decades, and most people have never looked closely enough at the ingredient list to notice. Today we are counting down 18 uses for witch hazel that most people have completely forgotten about or never knew existed. And number one is what the $25 toner on your bathroom counter is actually made of, and why the woman who paid $3 for a bottle at the drugstore is getting a better result. Let's get into it. Number 18, streak-free glass and mirror cleaner. Standard glass cleaners like Windex cost $4 to $6 per bottle, and the active cleaning mechanism is a solvent that dissolves oils and grease from glass surfaces. Witch hazel is an astringent with the same solvent properties. Spray it directly onto a mirror or glass surface and wipe with a microfiber cloth. It removes hairspray film, fingerprints, and oil buildup without leaving a streak or a residue film. The difference from standard glass cleaner is that witch hazel has no ammonia, no artificial fragrance, and no synthetic surfactants, which makes it a better choice for homes with young children and pets that come into contact with cleaned surfaces. A $3 bottle of witch hazel used for glass cleaning replaces a $5 bottle of specialty glass cleaner and lasts significantly longer because you use a small amount per application. This is the most basic use on this list, but it is a starting point for understanding how broadly this product applies outside the medicine cabinet. Number 17, fabric refresher and odor eliminator. Febreze and similar fabric refresher sprays cost $5 to $7 per bottle, and work by trapping odor molecules in a cyclodextrin compound. They mask the smell without eliminating its source. Witch hazel works differently. Its astringent properties kill the bacteria producing the odor rather than coating the odor molecules. Spray witch hazel directly onto fabric, gym bags, couch cushions, curtains, shoes, car upholstery, and let it air dry. The smell does not come back the next day because the source has been addressed rather than covered. For athletic wear with persistent odor that survives washing, spray the inside of the garment with witch hazel before it goes into the wash. The pre-treatment breaks down the bacteria embedded in the fabric fibers and allows the detergent to clear them in the cycle. No artificial fragrance, no chemical residue. A $3 bottle handles more odor treatment than 2 cans of Febreze at $12. Number 16. Soothe bug bites and bee stings immediately. The inflammation, itching, and swelling from mosquito bites, bug bites, and minor bee stings are caused by histamine release and localized inflammatory response at the site. Over-the-counter itch creams like hydrocortisone cost $6 to $10 for a small tube. Calamine lotion costs $5 to $7. Both work by reducing inflammation, exactly what witch hazel does as a natural astringent and anti-inflammatory agent. Dab witch hazel directly onto a bug bite with a cotton ball and hold it there for 30 seconds. The tannins in witch hazel contract the tissue, reduce the swelling, and calm the histamine response at the surface. The itching reduces within a few minutes, and the bite heals faster because the inflammatory cycle has been interrupted. For households in warm climates, or with children who spend time outdoors and come in covered in bug bites, a $3 bottle of witch hazel handles an entire summer of bite treatment for the price of one small tube of hydrocortisone cream. Number 15. Clean and treat minor cuts and scrapes. Witch hazel was used as a wound treatment long before the modern pharmaceutical industry existed, and its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties are well documented in medical literature. Apply it to a minor cut or scrape with a clean cotton ball to clean the wound and reduce bleeding. The astringent action contracts the tissue and helps close small cuts faster. It stings less than hydrogen peroxide, does not damage healthy tissue the way alcohol-based antiseptics can with repeated use, and does not bleach fabric if it drips. For minor skin injuries in a household with children, witch hazel is a gentler and more versatile first aid tool than most of the products in the medicine cabinet specifically labeled for wound care. It does not replace proper medical care for deeper wounds, but for the daily scrapes that come with an active household, it handles the job completely. Number 14. Reduce bruising and speed up healing. Bruises form when blood from ruptured capillaries pools under the skin and the body's inflammatory response causes the characteristic swelling and discoloration. Witch hazel's vasoconstrictive properties, the same mechanism that makes it effective for swelling and inflammation elsewhere, directly affect the appearance and healing timeline of bruises when applied promptly. Apply witch hazel to a bruised area as soon as possible after the impact, using a cold compress soaked in witch hazel or direct application with a cotton ball. The astringent action reduces blood pooling in the tissue, and the anti-inflammatory tannins reduce the surrounding swelling. Applied within the first hour of an injury and repeated 2 to 3 times per day, witch hazel consistently reduces both the severity and the duration of bruising compared to no treatment. Arnica gel. The most commonly sold bruise treatment at pharmacies costs $10 to $15 for a small tube. Its mechanism is similar, and its results are comparable to witch hazel at a fraction of the price. Number 13. Treat razor burn and ingrown hairs. Razor burn, the red, irritated skin left after shaving, and ingrown hairs, which occur when a cut hair curls back into the skin and causes an inflammatory bump, are both inflammatory skin responses. Post-shave products like Ten Skin and Bump Patrol cost $12 to $20 for small bottles and are primarily alcohol-based astringents with added conditioning agents. Witch hazel is a natural astringent with anti-inflammatory tannins that reduce the redness and irritation of razor burn on contact. Apply it to freshly shaved skin with a cotton pad immediately after shaving. It closes the pores, reduces the inflammatory response, and prevents the bacterial infection in hair follicles that turns ingrown hairs into painful, inflamed bumps. For anyone who shaves regularly and experiences chronic razor burn or ingrown hairs, a $3 bottle of witch hazel used daily replaces $15 to $25 in post-shave products and produces a better result because it addresses the inflammation directly, rather than adding a conditioning layer on top of it. Number 12. Gentle and effective makeup remover. Eye makeup removers cost $8 to $15 for a small bottle and are specifically formulated to dissolve mascara, eyeliner, and eyeshadow without irritating the delicate skin around the eyes. Most of them are mild oil and water emulsions with a small percentage of solvent. Witch hazel dissolves makeup effectively because its solvent properties break down the oil and pigment components that make makeup adhere to skin. Apply it to a cotton pad and press gently onto closed eyes, hold for a few seconds, and wipe cleanly. It removes waterproof mascara with 1 or 2 passes and leaves no oily film behind. For sensitive skin that reacts to fragrance and surfactants in commercial makeup removers, witch hazel is a particularly suitable alternative because it contains none of those compounds. A full bottle of witch hazel replaces multiple small bottles of makeup remover over the course of a year at a fraction of the combined cost. Number 11. Reduce puffiness around the eyes. Under-eye puffiness caused by poor sleep, fluid retention, or allergies is one of the most common morning skincare complaints, and it has generated an entire category of expensive eye creams and cooling treatments priced from $20 to $80. The mechanism behind effective eye depuffing is simple. Vasoconstriction and cold temperature reduce the swelling and fluid accumulation in the thin skin under the eye. Witch hazel is a natural vasoconstrictor. Soak 2 cotton pads in witch hazel, refrigerate them for 10 minutes, and place them over your eyes for 5 minutes. The combination of the cold temperature and the astringent vasoconstrictive action of the witch hazel reduces puffiness more effectively than room temperature eye cream. Dermatologists have referenced this method in skincare guides for years. The $60 eye depuffing cream sitting on the bathroom shelf is doing a version of the same thing, with additional emollients and a premium packaging budget. Number 10. Scalp treatment for oily scalp and dandruff. An oily scalp is caused by overactive sebaceous glands producing excess sebum. Dandruff is typically caused by a combination of excess oil and a naturally occurring scalp fungus called malassezia that feeds on the oil. Most dandruff shampoos address the fungal component with zinc pyrithione or ketoconazole. Witch hazel addresses the excess oil component by acting as an astringent that reduces sebum production at the scalp surface. Apply witch hazel directly to the scalp with a cotton ball or dropper between washes. Focus on oily areas and the hairline, and allow it to dry before styling. Use 2 to 3 times per week. It reduces the oil buildup between washes, decreases flaking, and extends the time between necessary hair washes for people with oily scalp. Specialty scalp treatments cost $12 to $25 per bottle. Witch hazel accomplishes the same oil regulation for $3 and can be used indefinitely without the drying effects of medicated shampoos used daily. Now here is something most people do not know about witch hazel that changes how you think about it entirely. The name has nothing to do with witchcraft. The word witch comes from the Old English word weis, meaning pliant or flexible, referring to the tree's ability to bend without breaking. Native American tribes, including the Cherokee and Potawatomi, used witch hazel bark and leaves medicinally for centuries before European settlers ever encountered the plant. They used it to reduce swelling, treat skin irritation, and address inflammation, the same applications it is used for today. Witch hazel also has the unusual distinction of being one of the only plants in North America that blooms in winter, sometimes as late as January, when everything else is dormant. Early settlers who encountered a flowering shrub in the middle of winter in the 1600s considered it remarkable enough to carry the association of something unusual and beyond ordinary explanation. The plant has been in continuous documented medicinal use for over 300 years. The $25 toner bottle sitting on your bathroom shelf arrived at its formula much more recently. We are past the halfway point on this list, and we have already covered $80 to $100 in annual product savings across 8 categories. But the next half is where witch hazel's medical documentation gets serious. We are moving into dermatologist reference uses, FDA classified applications, and the skincare industry's most profitable repackaging operation. Number 1 on this list is a direct look at what is inside the premium toner and astringent products you may be buying right now. And the number on the comparison will be difficult to unsee. Stay with me. Number 9, garden plant pest control. Commercial insecticidal soaps and plant pest sprays cost $8 to $15 per bottle and are used to treat aphids, spider mites, and other soft-bodied insects on garden plants and houseplants. Witch hazel, diluted with water at a ratio of 1 part witch hazel to 3 parts water in a spray bottle, serves as an effective deterrent and compact treatment for soft-bodied plant pests. The astringent compounds in witch hazel disrupt the insect's outer protective layer and deter further infestation when sprayed on the underside of leaves where aphids and mites congregate. It is safe for use on edible plants when diluted appropriately and does not leave a chemical residue that affects the flavor of herbs and vegetables. For households with kitchen gardens, herb pots, or houseplants that battle recurring pest problems, witch hazel provides a low-cost, food-safe alternative to commercial sprays that require gloves and ventilation for application. Number 8. Natural deodorant that actually works. Conventional deodorant works by killing the bacteria on skin that produce odor when they break down sweat compounds. Witch hazel kills those same bacteria directly through its astringent and antimicrobial properties. Apply witch hazel under your arms with a cotton pad, allow it to dry completely, and the odor-causing bacteria are eliminated for hours. It does not block sweat glands the way antiperspirants do, so it allows normal perspiration while eliminating the bacterial component that creates odor. For people with sensitive skin that reacts to the aluminum compounds in antiperspirants, the synthetic fragrances in conventional deodorants, or the baking soda content in natural deodorant alternatives, witch hazel is the most minimal and skin-compatible option available. A $3 bottle used as a daily deodorant lasts 2 to 3 months and costs under $15 per year, versus $5 to $12 for a stick of commercial deodorant that needs replacing every 4 to 6 weeks. Number 7. Treat eczema and psoriasis flares. Eczema and psoriasis produce inflamed, itchy, irritated patches of skin that flare in response to environmental triggers, stress, and dryness. Dermatologists commonly recommend witch hazel as a complementary treatment for mild to moderate flares because its tannins reduce inflammation, its astringent properties calm the irritated skin surface, and it does not contain the fragrances, preservatives, and synthetic compounds that trigger reactions in sensitive skin. Apply witch hazel directly to the affected area with a cotton pad or soft cloth during a flare, allow it to dry, and follow with an unscented moisturizer. The inflammation and itching reduce significantly within minutes for most people. This is not a cure for either condition, and severe cases require medical treatment. But for managing mild flares and reducing the frequency of pharmaceutical intervention, witch hazel is a dermatologist-endorsed tool that most patients with these conditions have never been specifically told about by name. Number 6. Soothe sunburn faster than most lotions. Aloe vera gel is the standard sunburn treatment, and it works well, but it is slow. It sits on the surface of the skin and provides cooling relief while the skin absorbs its compounds. Witch hazel works more immediately on sunburned skin because its astringent action reduces the surface inflammation and blood vessel dilation that causes the heat and redness of a burn. Apply chilled witch hazel to sunburned skin with a soft cloth or spray bottle, and the surface temperature drops and the stinging sensation reduces within minutes. Follow with aloe vera gel to maintain moisture as the skin heals. The combination of witch hazel first and aloe second addresses both the immediate inflammation and the longer-term moisture barrier that sunburned skin needs to heal properly. After-sun products at pharmacies cost $8 to $15, and most of them contain witch hazel or aloe as primary active ingredients, with water, fragrance, and colorant making up the balance of the formula. Number 5. Treat diaper rash and baby skin irritation. This is one of witch hazel's most well-documented gentle applications, and one of the least discussed outside of midwife and pediatric nurse communities. Witch hazel without alcohol, the formulation specifically matters here, look for alcohol-free witch hazel, is gentle enough for infant skin, and is used by many labor and delivery nurses for postpartum perineal care and for treating diaper rash. Its anti-inflammatory and astringent properties reduce the redness and irritation of diaper rash without the synthetic compounds in commercial diaper creams that can themselves cause reactions in sensitive infant skin. Apply alcohol-free witch hazel to affected skin with a soft cotton pad during diaper changes and allow to dry before applying a barrier cream. Tuck's medicated pads, which are sold in the baby and personal care aisle specifically for sensitive skin and postpartum care, are witch hazel pads. The brand name version costs $8 to $12 per package. A bottle of alcohol-free witch hazel and a bag of cotton pads produces the same product at 1/4 the cost. Number 4. Hemorrhoid treatment and relief. This is witch hazel's most medically established use, and the one most people either do not know about or are too uncomfortable to bring up. Preparation H, the most widely recognized hemorrhoid treatment in the country, contains witch hazel as one of its primary active ingredients. The FDA has classified witch hazel as a Category 1 safe and effective over-the-counter drug, specifically for the treatment of hemorrhoids, meaning it has passed the same regulatory standard as aspirin for its approved application. Witch hazel reduces the inflammation, swelling, and pain of hemorrhoids through the same vasoconstrictive and anti-inflammatory mechanisms it uses on every other inflamed tissue. Apply it with a cotton pad to the affected area for immediate relief. The medicated Preparation H wipes cost $8 to $12 for a small package of single-use wipes. Each wipe contains a small amount of witch hazel and some conditioning agents. A $3 bottle of witch hazel and a bag of cotton pads produces the exact same therapeutic effect for a fraction of the cost and lasts significantly longer than a package of medicated wipes. Number 3. Reduce the appearance of varicose veins and spider veins. Varicose veins and spider veins appear when the valves in the surface veins weaken and blood pools, causing the vein to enlarge and become visible through the skin. Topical treatments for varicose and spider veins cost $15 to $30 per bottle and are built around vasoconstrictive and astringent compounds that temporarily reduce the appearance of the distended vessel at the skin surface. Witch hazel is a direct vasoconstrictor. Applying it to areas with visible spider veins or mild varicose veins using a cotton pad twice daily reduces the surface visibility of the vessels by temporarily tightening the tissue around them and reducing the pooling at the skin surface. This is a cosmetic management tool, not a medical treatment, and significant varicose veins require physician evaluation. But for mild spider veins and early surface varicosities, regular witch hazel application produces results that are comparable to products priced 5 to 10 times higher. Number 2, acne treatment and blemish control. Acne is caused by a combination of excess sebum production, dead skin cell accumulation in the pore, and bacterial colonization of the blocked follicle by Cutibacterium acnes. Effective acne treatment addresses all three components. Witch hazel addresses two of them directly. Its astringent properties reduce sebum production and tighten pores, reducing the excess oil environment that feeds bacterial growth. Its antimicrobial tannins kill surface bacteria, including the acne-causing strains, on contact. Applied to the entire face or directly to blemishes as a spot treatment, witch hazel reduces the active bacterial population, decreases the oil that feeds it, and contracts the enlarged pores that trap dead skin cells. Benzoyl peroxide spot treatments cost $8 to $15. Salicylic acid serums cost $15 to $30. Mario Badescu and Paula's Choice acne products cost $20 to $45. Every single one of them addresses the same underlying mechanisms that witch hazel addresses for $3. Dermatologists have been recommending witch hazel for acne-prone skin for decades in clinical settings. The skincare industry has been charging a premium for branded versions of the same compound for the same amount of time. All right, before we get to number 1, if you have found this useful and you want more videos that give you the real information behind the products you are already using and spending money on, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss one of these. Now, number 1. The facial toner replacement that exposes one of the biggest markups in the beauty industry. Walk into any Sephora, Ulta, or department store beauty counter and look at the toner section. A bottle of Thayer's Witch Hazel Toner costs $12 to $15. A bottle of Mario Badescu facial spray costs $9 to $12. Kiehl's Calendula Herbal Extract Toner costs $22 to $30. Tatcha Pore Perfecting Treatment costs $45. Paula's Choice Skin Balancing Toner costs $25. Every single one of these products has witch hazel as its primary active ingredient. The $45 bottle and the $12 bottle both do what the $3 bottle of drugstore witch hazel does. The rest of the price is fragrance, secondary botanical extracts, packaging design, brand positioning, and retail margin. Facial toners exist to remove residual cleanser and makeup after washing, temporarily tighten pores, balance the skin's pH, and reduce excess oil on the surface. Witch hazel performs all 4 functions directly. The branded toners add rosewater, glycerin, aloe, and botanical extracts in concentrations small enough to appear on the ingredient list without meaningfully changing the product's clinical effect. A household that uses a $20 to $45 toner twice daily and replaces it monthly or bi-monthly is spending $120 to $540 per year on a facial step that a $3 bottle of witch hazel handles just as effectively. The dermatology literature does not recommend the $45 product over the $3 one. The marketing budget does. 18 uses, $3. Which one are you going to try first? And if you have been using witch hazel for something that was not on this list, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and the best ones end up in the next video. Subscribe to the channel for more of these. And YouTube thinks you will like this video next, so check it out, and I will see you in the next episode.